Oh,
All right. This is the
right.
Domestic Craft Podcast. I'm Evan Bierman here
And
with Dan Slook. Dan, how you been, man? Memorial Day weekend, this last weekend. How was your weekend? What are you drinking?
I'm good. Happy Memorial Day to you as well. I'm drinking a beer from Evans Brewing Company. It's your brewery.
All right.
You finally did it,
Love
man.
to hear it.
Congratulations. But I'm drinking an IPA from Evans Brewing Company. It's called Friday IPA. And for those of you that watch on YouTube, you can see that it's got a little Cameron Fry action there as their logo for that. It's spelled Frye, just like Cameron Fry's last name. It's got a little snippet on it. I'll go crack open this tropical IPA and let the world know it's Friday. So it's good. It's a good little IPA. It's Citra, Mosaic hops. It's got some notes of grapefruit, mango, passion fruit, 6.5 alcohol percentage, and a 3.7 on Untapped. But a little bit about the brewery. Actually, it's one of the oldest breweries in SoCal. I had no idea, but it was kind of originated in 1994. And that's kind of around the same time, even a little bit before Stone Brewery, which is one of the biggest breweries here in Southern California. And they originated up in Orange County, and they've been up kind of over there near Irvine for a long time. And their lease came up on their facility in 2019, which then allowed them to explore to expand their company. And they landed on Corona, California. And they got this huge facility now where they can have an annual capacity in excess of 25,000 barrels. They've created a tasting room as well. And they're just, I'm starting to see them on the shelves here more and more. So they're obviously distributing more. They're growing as a company. And I know too, because of their past, being a smaller craft brewery in 94, they absorbed another company, another brewery at that time. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's like a Dayhawk or something like that. They absorbed it. So it was kind of like a mesh of two that allowed them to grow. And now they're growing even bigger and bigger and bigger. And the beer is good. I like it. I love the design. And the beer it's crisp, it's clean, it's a good summer beer. What about you? What are you drinking?
Yeah, that is a really cool can and a little tie into Chicago there with Cameron Fry. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing something a little bit different this week. I have a mead here. Mead has been pretty hot in the craft beer scene lately, even though it's not really craft beer at all. If you're not familiar with mead, it's a fermented beverage made of honey, water, and yeast. It's often called honey wine. But the meadery I have is Pips Meadery. It's out of Beach Park, Illinois. There's a bottle right there. It was founded in 2017. Pips looks to continuously push the boundaries and stretch past bounds to bring out intense flavors and unique combinations in their products. They began by providing a small number of memberships to support their small operation. Fast forward to today, they grew in popularity so quickly they had to close memberships and don't currently have any plans to reopen them. If you're not a member, they have extremely limited sales to partnering retailers that are actually in Wisconsin, the names of which they don't disclose on their website, and through public tasting sessions. So, for a while they ran a lottery program that has since been shut down due to the incredibly large demand. So, needless to say, it's extremely hard to get your hands on a bottle of this mead. Shout out to our friend Pete Mike Keyser, Gavin, who we've had on the show, for getting me a bottle of this. I believe he's a member and has been for a few years there. But the mead I have is called Razzmatazz. It's a raspberry mead with orange blossom honey. It's a 4.68 on Untapped. This is by far the highest rating, drink that I've had on the show. It's 14%.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, pretty heavy.
How is it?
It's a sipper. It's very, very sweet, obviously, with all that honey in there. It's a little tart, but mostly sweet, but it's really smooth. And I could totally see why this gets such high ratings. I'm a fan of mead. Have you ever had any mead, Dan?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's not my favorite, but I've only had a few. And it has a very distinct taste. It's almost medicinal to me, where and I think that might be in some of the origins of mead, right? Where it used to be used as medicine, like way back in like the Renaissance era, I think. But not my cup of tea. I don't like the syrupy thickness of it, which is weird because I had a beer this weekend that was a smoothie beer that I wanted to talk about that I thought was one of the better beers I've had in my life. And it's a smoothie beer out of Harlan Brewing Company. I've done them before. They're here in San Diego. And it was an ube painkiller is the name of the beer. So ube is like a purple sweet potato, basically, found in a lot of South Asian countries. So yeah, we went there. My brother was visiting for the weekend. We went to the tap room, the tasting room there, and they had it on draft. We went to ask if they had it canned. They said they canned it that Saturday. We were there Sunday, and they sold out Saturday as soon as they opened. So
Wow.
it's a hot commodity to get. It's got such an awesome color. It really pops in a glass. I posted it on Instagram over the weekend. It's got a 4.3 on Untapped. So that was really good. I like that, and I don't like meads. I don't know.
You'll get there. You'll get there. Next time
Yeah.
you're out here, we'll hit up Pete My Keezer.
I feel like a mead is best like if you got a fire going on inside. It's like 10 degrees outside, and you can like sip it. I think that's like a mead kind of environment, not turn of summer like it is right now, cracking one open or popping a bottle, because they are kind of a little fancier like that. But just me, I don't know.
Yeah, you can substitute it out for any occasion that you'd regularly have wine. So I'm all aboard drinking mead whenever. So if you got mead, crack one with us.
All right.
But all right, so we mentioned it was Memorial Day weekend, Dan, and I got a fun little game here that I want to play since it's kind of the kickoff of summer.
Feels great.
Yeah. So here's what it's going to be. It's going to be this weekend, rest of your life, never again. So this weekend, you'll do it once. You'll do it this weekend. That's it. Rest of your life, you could do it every day the rest of your life. Never again. You're never going to be able to do this ever again.
You're done.
Obviously.
You're never going to be able.
All right?
If I had it yesterday, I can never have it again.
Never again. All right.
Okay.
So first one.
Okay.
Things to grill. All right. You got hot dog, steak, and hamburger.
I'll never have a hamburger again. I'll have a hot dog this weekend and steak for the rest of my life. What say you?
High class. Okay.
What say you?
See, I can't do a steak like every day or anything, like
because you're weak.
I think I would probably go because I don't want to get gout.
Yeah. Okay.
This weekend I'd probably go hamburger. I think I'd go hot dog rest of my life. I think I'd stay steak, never again.
What?
Too much. Yeah.
That's a wild take.
Hot dog and hamburger again. Hot dog and hamburger are my go-tos on the grill. I got to have both of those in there.
Think of the varieties you could have for steak. You have a steak salad, you got a steak sandwich, you could just eat steak straight. I mean, you're not going to have a hamburger or a hot dog salad or a hamburger or a hot dog sandwich. They're already sandwiches.
I'm not trying to have a salad if I'm grilling something, Dan. That's just me, though.
I think that's a wild take to not have steak ever again. Yeah. I think it's probably the worst take I've ever heard.
Oh, really? Well, this is only the first one. There's many more to go here.
All right, next one. That was all right. I did not see that coming.
I just don't really grill steaks that often. So that one was
time to grow up. Time to grow up.
Yeah,
get yourself steak.
Lake, ocean, river. This weekend, rest of your life, never again.
Never again. River.
Whoa, Chicago River takes offense to that.
Rest of my life. I'm very fond of a lake. Growing up, being fortunate enough to have a lake house and go to a lake, and I really enjoy a summer lake house. I really, really like that environment, fishing, hanging out, no wake, no current. So you're not getting pulled. It's not dangerous. There's nothing really in there that can attack you. I think the level of accidents are way down as opposed to an ocean. So I'll probably go never again, river, lake rest of my life, and ocean this weekend. Although I'll miss out on a lot of ocean activity, and the ocean is enormous and there's a lot of potential. That's just my take.
Yeah, I'm on board with all of those. Actually, river, there's just not enough to do there. Lake, having a lake house would be, the best. And I think ocean, it's nice to occasionally visit that, but I don't know that I need to be there every single day. All right, next one. Miller Lite, Bud Light, Coors. Do you have preferences?
This is like a great summer, like your friends are having a backyard party. You open up the cooler, right? And there it is. They got the domestics there, the macros, they got the Miller, they got the Bud, the Coors. If I'm having to go this weekend, rest of your life, never again, I would say, man, something has changed in me recently to where I have a friend out here that he's from the East Coast and he's a huge Bud Light fan, and he has converted me. I used to be so against Bud Light. But recently he's kind of converted me to it. So maybe, man, this is a tough one. As easy as it might seem, it's a tough one. I might go Bud Light this weekend, Coors rest of my life, and Miller Lite never again.
Yeah, I think I'm Coors this weekend, Bud Light rest of my life, Miller Light never again. I used to be such a Miller guy, but I've, having
Yeah.
Bud Light a little bit more lately. So,
Right.
um,
What,
yeah, I
what's
think I'm,
what's with that? I don't know why
I
that
don't know
is. I
what
used to be
changed.
so against it as well. And
Yeah.
then I did it for like we went out for a weekend or whatever. We kind of crawled around and I woke up feeling not too shabby the next day. And that was kind of his big case is like
That's your decider.
you feel better if you drink Bud Light the night before. I guess. I don't know.
What about what
The
about the ice
taste, they
beers?
all
Yeah.
taste like shit, so it doesn't
What about
matter.
the ice beers?
I don't drink those, man. You
You don't
drink
drink
ice
those
beers?
anymore?
No.
We used to do Ice Day. You don't remember
Yeah,
Ice Day?
I do remember that. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Not drinking ice beers
College,
anymore.
we drink ice beer all day long. Shout out to the guys at Eastern.
That's right.
Drinking
Let's
some
class it up a little bit for this next one.
Okay. Next one, we got Hefeweizen, Pilsner or Lager, or an IPA.
I think I will never again have a Pilsner lager. Oh no, that's a bad take. I think maybe never again have a Hef. This weekend have an IPA and Pilsner lager rest of my life.
Really?
Just because I think Pilsner lager can cover a lot of events and a lot of different variety.
Because it's two different kinds. Yeah.
Yeah. It's two different kinds and it's also lighter, right? To where you can enjoy more. To where like half I feel is like a, special event. I'm not going to like a concert or a ball game, just pounding hefs or having a couple hefs. Hefs, if I'm going to a brewery and I want to check out their craft and see, if they're worth their salt with a good hef.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be kind of a hot take because I drink a lot of IPAs on the show, but I think for me, IPA never again. I think I would do Hef this weekend and then Pilsner Lager rest of my life. But yeah, we do, both of us, I think, do a lot of IPAs on this show.
Yeah.
So that is a bit of a hot
And
take.
I was talking too, like my taste buds have changed. I mean, as we've been doing this show, I used to do a ton of lighter pilsners and I used to do like hard kombucha. I used to like really be on that train. And as of lately, I think the last 2-3 months here, I've just been craving like the hazies, been craving the IPAs, been craving the hazies. And it's interesting how you kind of go through those cycles of like what you're tasting. All right.
Next one. We got Cubs game. Cubs or a White Sox game. We got a concert in the city. Could be at any venue you want, or a day at Navy Pier, go out on the boat, out on the lake.
A day at Navy Pier, concert, ball game. Navy Pier, never again. That place is a shit show. Too many people, too many tourists. I do love seeing some live music, but I do love going to the Cubs game as well. I think I would go never again Navy Pier, this weekend concert, and then hopefully going to a Cubs game with a concert preceding the game.
Oh, look at this guy.
Somehow I'll see some live music here and there. As
I'm on the same page.
Progress.
Cubs rest of my life. Hit up the concert this weekend, and then Navy Pier. I'm on the same thing. It's too many tourists out there. Last time I was there, too many tourists. So
I agree. All right, before we get into some sports talk here and kind of wrap this up, I want to get your take on my opinion. Not having spent a summer in Chicago in almost 4 years now, the one thing I miss the most about that city is their neighborhood block parties, their street fests. They shut it down for a weekend. They got live music. They got food tents. They got drinks. The parks are open as well. Are you looking forward to it? How awesome is that? It's pretty unique as well, I think. And also with as many neighborhoods as we have in that city. How great is that coming up?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think, there's some that are unique and that I like kind of circle on my calendar to hit up. There's a Logan Square Arts Festival.
There's like Due Division,
by.
Wicker Park has always got big music acts.
Got to hit that one up. Wicker Park's got a good one. Lakeview East has an arts festival that's really good as well. And then Roscoe Village has a burger fest that is fantastic. I like to hit that one up too. They got great food over there.
I remember way back when we went to, I think Wrigleyville did like a wings fest. Remember that? Where all the bars had like put on their best wings for the day or whatever, and you were able to kind of hop around. That was like what, 10 years ago almost.
Yeah. I think that was at Deuce's over there.
Right.
That was a pretty unique experience. I don't think they do that anymore. unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
All right. Yeah. Speaking about, Wrigleyville Deuces and whatnot, they weren't on the north side, they're on the south side this weekend. Let's talk about the Crosstown Cup. Pretty interesting. I mean, as a Cubs fan looking at this season and it being underwhelming, not a lot of things to get excited about. I think you still get excited for that Crosstown. You still get excited to see the people chirping back and forth. I feel like every north side friend's got a south side fan, or every south side fan's got a north side friend, kind of vice versa. So what was your take on the Crosstown Cup, and what we saw from the Cubs? Is it still like AJ Pierzynski punching Mike Barrett kind of levels, or is it pretty much teetered off to where it's kind of like, yeah?
I think White Sox fans just know that their team is far superior at this point.
Their 500 team.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
ouch.
it's a lot better than the Cubs are looking right now. Unfortunately, there's a few promising players we'll talk about in a second here, but the Cubs were just riding pretty, as low as it gets coming into this weekend. They lost 20-5 to the Reds on Thursday, had the day off Friday, but I mean, that's the worst team in baseball, and they lost by 15 runs.
Yeah.
But they come
Not
in
great.
Saturday and they beat the Sox 5-1. I thought that was impressive off of that abysmal loss to the Reds, just one of the worst games I've seen. And they lose 5-4 in a close game on Sunday. But overall, I think, the fight that they put up with the White Sox is pretty good. The Sox are, they have a lot of injured players. Tim Anderson got hurt as well.
Yep.
That groin injury, I don't know how long he's going to be out. I think they
Doesn't
said
look
it was a bad one. They still got Lance Lynn out. They got, Eloy's hurt.
Eloy's, they DFA'd Dallas Keuchel. Like, who would you rather be right now? Would you rather be the White Sox that had World Series aspirations that are sitting here at 500, DFAing one of their starting pitchers coming into the year, to your biggest, I mean, the face of your franchise, Tim Anderson, just goes out right now. You have Roberts out, Eloy's out, hurt. It's not looking good. You got a lot of sunk cost into this lineup. Would you rather be the Cubs? Would you rather be the team out there trotting out minor league players, seeing what we got? I mean, Morale has a 13-game hit streak. I mean, that's fun to watch. I mean, I'd rather have like the optimism of like, can these kids play, opposed to the World Series or bust, and then being 500 and being like, this fucking sucks. Lewis is an idiot. These guys are hurt. This is the worst.
Yeah. I mean, as a Sox fan, you got to be disappointed in where they're at. I think at this point, I mean, injuries you can't predict, but it seems like the last couple of years the Sox have just been constantly hurt. So something's going on there. But yeah, I mean, as a fan, you're probably just like, you have those expectations. Cubs fans don't have any expectations right now.
Right.
And I think that's what you're alluding to there. It's like, it's okay if we win. It's okay if we lose. If you go into a game, it's just to have a good time and be at Wrigley. Yeah, I mean, Christopher Morel has been like such a great story though for Cubs fans. Reached base in 13 straight games to start his big league career that tied.
He's interesting, man. He's interesting
streak in franchise history. Yeah, Suzuki's been, he was riding very high in the beginning of the season and then kind of teetered off. And now
that makes sense though. That makes sense with a lot of players that come from, overseas or whatnot. The scouting report's not quite out there yet. So once they get like a month of tape on him and the teams kind of figure out his weak spots as a hitter, they start exploiting that a little bit. So we'll see how he adjusts. Yeah, he's out hurt, but I feel like that was to be expected. There's no way he was going to keep up kind of where he started.
Yeah. I'm also liking, Patrick Wisdom's only hitting 233, but he's got 10 bombs this year. I feel like he's been getting some clutch hits.
He's a big leaguer.
Wilson Contreras, 8 bombs. He's got
dude, did you see that homer he hit yesterday?
Yeah, he hit another one today.
Dude, but he hit it out of the baseball park yesterday. Left field out onto, just hit it out. The guy just like hung, it was like a slider or something right in the zone. And it just like the sound of it, the ease of that swing, and just crushed it.
Yeah. And I know you're keeping a close eye on him because I got him in fantasy against you.
Yeah. Cut that. All right, come on. Cut that out.
So that should be interesting, us playing each other. But the White Sox have a few promising players too. Andrew Vaughn's looking good. He's hitting 287 with 6 homers. for being a young guy. I mean, that's all you can ask for out of him. As soon as they get guys like Eloy and Lewis Robert back, and Robert's sitting 285. So he's having a pretty solid season himself. So, I mean, once they get those guys back, I think, this team's going to look a little bit better, and being 500 right now with the injuries they've had and, not having Lance Lynn, it was the right move to get rid of Keuchel. Obviously he's been so bad.
Yeah, he's been terrible, but also, I don't know, man. You're being very optimistic for the White Sox. Like once we get Lance Lynn back, that guy's like what, 35?
He could be old, but he pitches great. He was great.
Well, last year. I mean, but
great last year.
That can come and go pretty quickly. It's not looking great. I would much rather be a Cubs fan. I think I'm really excited about Morel. I think it's interesting to see when certain players, I mean, he had like no real hype around him.
He wasn't a
top prospect, but these guys kind of come up sometimes and just, they're ready for the stage and they just make it happen. And they're not a top prospect, but then they become a big league player. And I think we're witnessing it with Morel, and you can't put him back down. I mean, he's been one of the most consistent hitters. He gets on base. He's electric. He's, someone in the clubhouse too that brings energy. He's got the swag that we're missing since, Javi departed. It's pretty cool to see, like, a guy you didn't really have stock in coming into the season have a fun year. So I like being a Cubs fan. I don't know. I'm happy where we're at. As long as the White Sox don't win a World Series before the Cubs win their next one, I'll be happy.
Oh, 100% agree with you on that. All right. So the other big events that are going on here, NBA Finals.
Yep.
Postseason viewership up 14%. Do you think it's because LeBron's not in postseason or what?
I also think, maybe that. And also maybe since, full capacity stadiums, cities opening back up, people being able to go out and watch the games. I think that has something to do with it as well.
Okay. So people are watching more games because there's more people in the stands. Okay.
In the stands and places are open. I think, people are tuning in all over the place.
Makes sense. So the Celtics facing off against Golden State. Who do you got in this one, Dan?
My analyst perspective, I'll take Golden State. I think there's something about Golden State when you watch a game, right? And it's third quarter, they're like down by 7. You're like, what's going on? They're not playing well. And then all of a sudden 3 minutes pass and they're up by 15. You're just like, what the hell just happened? They when they are at their best, there's no one that can touch them. And they tend to get that maybe, once a game to where they go on those runs and they're hitting shots and the ball's moving and it's literally like a half second in a hand, bop, bop, bop around the arc into the open shooter. The defense is stretched and they're just so lethal with their shooting. That's why I think Golden State's going to win, is because they go on those runs and it's just no one can compete. And yes, Boston is probably a really good opposition here because they're so long and they're so fundamentally sound on defense that they do have a good shot at being a team that can defend a Golden State run. But for Golden State, having been there, having the experience, knowing how to play together in a championship environment, I think they'll come out on top. Although I think the Celtics is a fun story. I mean, this was a team where, before the trade deadline, everyone was clamoring for them to break up Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Marcus Smart. They're like, it's done. Break it up. We tried and they didn't. They stayed pat. Everyone's like, where's this white guy coming from? They traded a first round pick for him to San Antonio, and he's been solid. He's been shooting the crap out of the ball from him as well. So that was a big pickup midseason from them. But overall, I'll take Golden State, man.
Yeah, I think Golden State's going to win as well. I'm guessing in 5. I think they're going to. I mean, the Celtics do match up with them pretty good, and they also played Jimmy Butler pretty well. I mean, Jimmy Butler gave him a hell of a run there. But
what are your thoughts on Draymond Green, man? He's such a polarizing figure.
Yeah,
that, like, everyone I talk to is either he sucks or, in my opinion, he is one of the most important players on that team. What about you?
I think he is. I mean, he's an important player. Yeah. As far as people saying he sucks, I don't think they're saying that his play sucks, because he's a great player. And he does a lot of things that people don't want to do. He gets the boards, he plays a good defense. He kind of fills the stat sheet in other ways besides scoring the ball. and every team needs that. But he's just, if I was playing against him, obviously this is the guy that you would 100% hate. And he's kind of frustrating to watch sometimes too, because he's passionate, but he's kind of a jerk out there. So, I mean, yeah, they need
Sets
that.
the tone,
you
man.
need that to win. You need that to win 100%. You need
Yep.
guys like him or like Lance Stevenson blowing in LeBron's ear, but it's just like, it's kind of
That's a little
cringy
different.
to
That's a little
watch
different, but yeah.
when you're seeing stuff like that. So I don't love watching him play. I think he's great though. So I don't know if that's what you're alluding to when you say people think that he sucks, but
Well, yeah,
I
and
think he'll
in
win.
his play, right? He's not like he's not shooting the ball awfully well. He's not breaking down anyone one-on-one. He's not dunking on anyone. Everyone's like, so what does he do? And I think it's those intangibles that you're alluding to, where he's like, yeah, he sets the tone. He's such a tone setter. He's a coach on the floor. He's yelling at his team. He's imposing his will on the other team. He's also like trying to intimidate the other team. He's trying to intimidate the refs. He knows that's part of the game, that they're human, that they can be intimidated or they can be swayed if you just are harassing them. And he's just somebody that just knows and wants to win more than most people. And I think that's why he's so valuable.
Yeah, totally agree. I think he is a really valuable piece. I wish the Bulls had somebody like him.
Someone like him. Yeah. We need like a Draymond Green or a Marcus Smart or somebody that's just like, Joakim Noah was, somebody that just like will put out an arm and a limb just to win.
Do you think people thought of Joakim Noah the same way people think of Draymond Green now?
Yeah. People hated Noah.
Just Bulls fans were always like, no, this is our guy.
Yeah,
this guy's
that's
amazing.
the thing. If Draymond was on the Bulls, we'd love him.
Yeah.
We'd absolutely love him. Same with like Marcus Smart.
Yep. All right, Dan, before we get out of here, I got some fast facts and I'm going to hit you with some mead facts because you're not a big mead guy.
All right.
So mead, thought to be the world's oldest alcoholic beverage. First evidence of mead reportedly dates back to 7,000 BC. Does that change your mind yet?
No.
Beer, wine, cider, and mead are all categorized as their own distinct types of alcohol. So it's its own distinct alcohol. In the U.S., National Mead Day falls on August 3rd. It's now its 17th year. Commemorative occasion was first organized by the American Homebrewers Association. There's the tie into craft beer, Dan, to increase awareness of the drink and foster camaraderie among mead makers. And this is maybe my favorite fact here. The word honeymoon is derived from the Scandinavian practice of drinking mead or fermented honey during the first month of the marriage, measured by one moon cycle in order to improve the likelihood of conception. There you go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
That's where honeymoon comes from. All right. Thanks again for joining us today. For Dan Sloak, I'm Evan Bierman. You've been listening to the Domestic Draft Podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, don't forget to rate the show. You can find us on Twitter at Domestic Draft, on Instagram at Domestic Draft Podcast. Our website is domesticdraft.com, and you can watch the show on YouTube. Just search up Domestic Draft and drop us a sub. Thanks again for listening. Cheers.